We'll go. I haven't had like official things one way or the other, but yeah, that's just assuming that's what's going to happen.
If that does happen, what is your favorite memory from here? And a tough question to just throw at you.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of great memories. I think definitely some early ones I remember. Like you could look at the cup run. That was a pretty special time. We were so close. And then just especially early on, I think just a lot of how I was treated by some of the older players was pretty cool. I remember just being here for some of the summers, training before the year, and especially right before my rookie year, where guys like, I remember Jeff Carter would take me out for dinner all the time, and to baseball games and stuff like that. And then like guys like Prongs and Denny B were really great with me, and Scotty Hart and all. The list goes on and on. So obviously on the ice, that cup run that we had was great, but off the ice, a lot of great memories, especially early on. And then again, there's been, I feel like, lots of great groups of guys that I've been able to play with over my time here. So those definitely stand out, just because when you're younger and you're kind of impressionable, I think it really sets the stage for you for the rest of your career when you're around good people and good players. And yeah, so I think that looking back, I think that definitely helps set me up on a stage to know what it takes to try to be a productive, successful player.
James, when you came back from the injury in December, Torts put you in the line with Tip and with Frosty for it's about 5 weeks in there, and both of those guys credited your communication with them and your influence on them as one of the reasons why they took off this season. Where did you see Owen and Morgan grow this season?
Yeah, I think for both those guys, like obviously they've got the pedigree there. I mean, they're both first-round picks, huge talents. I think they really got a chance as far as opportunity-wise to play a little bit more and have that opportunity to get a little more leash, I guess, where you get thrown back out there a little bit more. I think they just took it and ran with it. I mean, they were fun. We had a lot of success playing together, I think, as a line, especially during that stretch that you mentioned. But yeah, it was fun to play with those guys and to see kind of the growth in their game and things like that. So yeah, definitely it'll be fun to watch those guys going forward and see what they can do.
It seemed like Tortorella left a lot of the work with the defensemen to Brad Shaw. What was the relationship with him like, and how did it kind of grow as the season went on between you and Brad?
Yeah, I mean, he's good. Working with him daily, talking daily, watching clips, teaching on the ice, off the ice, daily.
I know when you signed here for the second, or extended, you mentioned that you really liked working with Travis Sanheim this year. You played with a lot of different people. What was it like getting the experience with everyone else and then ending with him? Have you guys grown since you were last together?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to play with everyone, and we have a lot of good players. So I really enjoyed playing with every single one. But yeah, I've played a lot with Travis, and really enjoyed it, and just getting to know him more and more every year on and off the ice. That helps a lot.
Torts has been honest, and he said that in the first half of the year he was pretty hard on you. He's also said that during the second half of the year that he's been really happy with the improvements you've made. I guess, what would you say the evolution of your relationship with him has been like from the start of the year to now?
It's pretty simple and clear, and he's honest, and I think the way he is and the way he coaches, he probably gets the most out of me. That's what I appreciate, the honesty, good or bad. And sometimes I need a little push and kick in the ass. So
As you made adjustments this season, and your defensive game kind of got back in order, is that when you started to gain confidence again to jump up in the play and contribute offensively too?
yeah, I mean, you gotta find your spots, but obviously when you feel good about your game and your confidence is high, then you can try some things or jump up and then when things are not going well, then you probably try to keep it as simple as possible and try to keep the puck out of the net.
To get back to the pace of the game, and yeah, just looking forward to next year.
Sean, you talked about before the decision was made that one of the reasons why you wanted to play at the end of the year was you just felt like it would get you in the right frame of mind for the summer, just knowing you can play, knowing you can make it back. Knowing how important of an offseason this is for you in terms of preparing, I guess, how do you attack the offseason without the benefit of that better frame of mind by playing in a few games?
I think it's just about probably just gonna have to skate a little more. I've trained a lot in the last year and a half, and I feel strong again. I feel back 100%. So it's just a matter of getting back to the level of a high NHL player. Yeah, it's going to be on me to just get ready. Obviously, I'm disappointed I couldn't get into a few games and see where I'm at. But I mean, only time will tell if it was benefit or not. So I mean, we'll see next year. But I'm for sure going into this off season motivated and with a lot to prove coming into next year.
Sean, you mentioned how you want to be a part of this rebuild. You want to go through the tough times and not just come back when things are good again. Does the talk of rebuild really provide extra motivation for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, rebuild or not, I mean, for me anyways, in the situation I'm in with the 2 back surgeries, it's important to come back strong and show that I can be the player I was before the injury. So obviously we're using the rebuild word, but you know, I think it's on us players to just make sure we come ready and we can maybe speed up the process. That's on us to just develop and grow as a team, and we'll see how it goes next year.
Throughout the whole season, to be honest, but yeah, like I said, ups and downs. Fun year with these guys. Players on this team work extremely hard, and they love this city, they love this team, and it was a lot of fun.
Kevin, John Tortorella has been honest about the team wanting to get younger, and it's going to take time here. You're going to be 31, I think, next month, and you had pretty much a career year. Has anything come to your mind about maybe like you feel like you would be better suited with a contender, or how much do you want to maybe still stay here?
I think you guys know how much I love it here. I signed here 7 years. Absolutely love this organization. I thought Chuck was great. I love AV. I mean, I know they both caught a lot of flack here from fans and media, but yeah, I mean, Danny B's great. And the city's awesome. It's a sports town. Like you said, I'm turning 31. I picked up the message that was sent months ago. I'm okay with it. It's their decision. I don't want to say I'm suited for a contender because I think I'm suited for anyone, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. Their decisions have probably already been made. We don't know them yet. I'm sure I'll find out around the draft.
First came to the organization, you talked about how this city, this team felt like it was really going to be a good fit for you with your style of play. Over the course of the year, how do you think the fan base really kind of accepted the way you played?
I hope they liked it. But no, I said it multiple times. I think it's just, dude, I had the opportunity of signing where I wanted, and just the style of how the city is, not just the team, and I think it was an easy choice, and I'm really happy with what happened. Obviously, we want more. I think we had some good spurts this year. I think we proved that we never quit in this team, and the city's behind us, that's for sure.
Nick, when you were brought in and when we talked to Torts, he's mentioned that one of the big reasons why he wanted you here was to help foster the sort of culture that he's trying to build. I guess having gone through the whole season, where do you think the team is at in terms of building that winning culture?
Well, I hope we did. I'll say I think we grew a lot, but at the same time, I wasn't here in the past years. But I think we proved that we're a hard team to play against, and everybody's back. I think that's the main thing. Everything about fighting is a thing that I love doing, but I don't think it's just that. I think the maturity of the kids, and you know, my job is just to bring them more confidence of trying to make plays. And you know, we got some guys that chirps a lot too on the bench, so I think it's funny because I'm able to respond to that at the same time, but I want them to feel free of, you know, saying what they want and playing the way they have, and if there's something that happens, that I'm there for them. And I think we have a lot of guys that prove that they can do that as well. Beezer had a few fights. You got Nick that nobody wants to mess around with him too, and you know, at the beginning of the year he had Macker, and you bring back Lemieux. I think it's remember back in the days, this was a scary team to play against, and we're trying to do that, but at the same time we're trying to be a good hockey team and, you know, compete.
I'm sure it was a frustrating year for you. You know, there was a time where you thought you were going to come back, things kind of turned around. Where is kind of your mindset at just right now heading into the offseason?
Yeah, really good actually. Gonna get cleared hopefully next week. Been skating a lot the last 3 weeks, training hard, no setbacks. So just looking forward to obviously getting cleared and for contact, and having a really good summer training and revving it up even more than I ever have, and obviously itching for next season to start already, selfishly.
Now that the season's over, can you kind of take us through all of what happened even going back to training camp? You know, we were just told it was an upper body injury, and then there was sort of nothing until the announcement that you had your surgery. So can you sort of take us through the process of how kind of things went south for you this year?
Yeah, where do I start? Just, you know, wasn't feeling well to start training camp, and got a couple different MRIs and a couple misdiagnosis, and finally, you know, saw someone told me that I had a herniated disc in my C6, C7, and that I needed to get surgery right away. So at the time, I, you know, really didn't want to get surgery because it kind of freaked me out a little bit going through the neck, and was being told differently. But obviously went through the process of trying to rehab naturally, and went back to Columbus for a little bit to see some people that I trust and I know, and came back here feeling pretty good. Thought that I could kind of return to play in December when we went on that road trip to Arizona, Vegas, Colorado, Arizona, and then New Jersey, I believe, and just the process of the return to play, and you know, I couldn't get through a practice by myself. So anyway, I felt like I needed to do something. Saw a different Dr. Vaccaro, who was a BC guy, Boston College guy, and one of the Eagles surgeons, and has worked on a lot of professional athletes, and pretty much reassured me that if I don't take care of my atrophy in my left tricep, that I probably wouldn't be able to play again. And so I got surgery 3 days later. I woke up and felt unbelievable. All the pain that I couldn't sleep was gone, and just started the process of rehabbing. And not to get, I don't even know why I'm getting emotional, but just a tough year, and feel good, and I know this is a huge summer for me, and want to be part of the solution, and I'm going to push myself more than ever, and seeing these young guys obviously take a step, some guys take a huge step forward, only fuels me to obviously push myself and push the young guys, and I don't think we're as far off as people think, especially if guys are healthy and certain things happen this offseason. But yeah, not to get sappy, but yeah, that's been my year. But I feel great. I feel the best I've felt in a long, long time. And it's nice to be able to shoot the puck the way that I've been able to shoot the puck in the past. And like I said, just looking forward to start next season.
Scott, when you look at this season, there's a lot of young guys that came into the lineup. You know, Cam and Sean Hayward said the rebuild could be quick. It could be a quick turnaround. You know, when you see what the young guys did and the veterans who could be back, how do you kind of see things going moving forward here?
Yeah, I would agree. I think the step that some of those young guys made this year
and just the feel around the room, I think, was a little bit different from maybe the year past, and the belief within guys, and throughout the year. Obviously not where we want to be, but this is the situation we're in, and we have a lot of young guys that have stepped up in bigger roles. I think you saw it in the last 2 months or so. They're getting more opportunity and playing against some top guys and really getting their feet wet. And you always don't get that opportunity as a young guy and to play those big minutes and be in key situations. So I think it can only help down the road. We have a couple young forwards that I think can be very valuable for us going forward. So it's exciting for us and them, and it's going to be a big summer for a lot of those guys.
When you talk about the younger guys, is there any guys specifically that has stood out to you that you can pinpoint?
I think probably right off the top of my head is Tipper. I think he took a massive step. Was dominant in a lot of games, especially when TK was out, and kind of took over that role for us. And Frosty takes a huge step, scores 20 goals or close to it, I think, and plays some good hockey for us. And Casey plays out of position, plays center all year, and plays against the top guys, and I thought he did a hell of a job. So there's those three guys that kind of come to mind, and then you have Yorkie on the back end that I thought looked very good again, poised with the puck, and makes plays, and very skilled, and looks like he can run a power play. So you have those pieces come up, and they're not super young. Even Forrester, he comes up and looks really good. So they're not super young, but it's tough to get going in this league, and I think they did, and yeah, time will tell.
I know it's just a number on a stat sheet in a season that doesn't end with the playoffs, but what did 30 goals mean to you last night?
Yeah, it was definitely something I'd been aiming at getting at some point. I've been close in the past, so every summer, ever since I had hit the 24 goal mark, I was trying. That was a goal going into the season. So yeah, unfortunately, how we ended isn't the goal, but to hit that was nice.
Travis, kind of following up on that, in 2019-2020 you had what looked like was going to be your breakout year. The next two seasons didn't go the way you wanted. What do you think was different for you about this one in comparison to those two?
I don't know. I mean, the one. I'm getting a little. I'm not older in the league per se, but I've played a few years now, so I think that kind of plays into it. Just understanding the game a little bit better, working on being in better positions to help the team and score and being in better ice for the most part. And then also just coming in here knowing that, with the new staff, you're to prove yourself. And maybe, that season, I think ABU was brought on that season, so maybe I was proving myself then too. I'm not too sure, but just tried to work hard and put the work in, and it just paid off.
How much did the relationship that John Tortorella had with you kind of get you to be the player that you were? Risto was in here earlier, and he said, Torts gave us the kick in the butt that maybe we didn't realize we needed. Would you kind of fall into that same equation, that maybe he gave you or said things to you that maybe you didn't know you needed to hear that really helped?
Yeah, definitely. You just knew every night you had to work hard, and if you didn't, you were going to be held accountable. And there's something to be said about that. It doesn't matter who you are. You got to go in and put, whether it's practice or morning skate, he's always paying attention to that stuff. So, but yeah, we had a good relationship, and to be honest, we didn't really talk. We just kind of understood each other, and I knew what he expected from me, and when I wasn't giving that, and kind of trending in the wrong direction, I knew that a conversation was going to come, and then that would be it, and we'd get back on track. So.
you weren't the only one to have a career season this year. A lot of the younger guys especially stepped up as this team is kind of moving into that rebuild phase. But how much confidence is there with those guys stepping up that maybe you guys can kind of turn this around a little bit quicker than usual?
Yeah, it's really exciting. And for those guys too, it's so important to have that confidence going into next year. And I mean, I don't think a lot of us in here are shocked at the seasons that some of the guys had. It's just a matter of, you know, getting an opportunity, and you know, this league's kind of all about having that one person believing in and giving you an opportunity, and it's what you do with it. And these guys, you know, they all got a chance to show their skill and their hockey smarts and what they're capable of doing, and you know, it's really big for us moving forward. And I mean, I'm sure they'll all say the same thing.
Travis, the focus of the last month or so of the season, I think, for both you and the coaching staff, was to try to build up some positives going into the offseason. Do you feel like you succeeded in that area? Did you feel like you were able to turn things around at the end?
I think I had better games for sure. I think just more of my style of game and more skating, more getting up the ice, more ozone play, creating offense, and it's a big part of my game. I think there were steps from you know, probably when I got scratched, I guess. After that point, I guess I went through probably a little bit of struggles after I was scratched, and then I think yeah, the last little bit, I think I've played some better hockey.
When we talked to you after you got scratched in Carolina, we talked a little bit about how John Tortorella wanted to see you incorporate a more aggressive kind of defensive mindset, and while also still trying to get to your game offensively. How much, and that it wouldn't necessarily happen overnight, but how much closer do you feel like you got to incorporating that on a consistent basis in the last month of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still a work in progress. I think Torch knows that. I think, you know, I know that. I know, you know, we're trying to, you know, get through on some of those areas, and yeah, I think there was, you know, some better or some more positives in that area, and you know, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I think we just got to be more consistent and try to be a little bit more, you know, aggressive in certain areas, like you said, and like I said too, you know, I'm working on that and going to continue to try to get better in that area.
Go ahead. Joel, how eager are you for just a normal summer?
Yeah, be nice. Plan on spending most of it probably around here. So, you know, just get in the gym with Dan and Derek, and you know, try and get my strength back and stuff like that. I think, you know, just being able to skate more in the summer too, I think will help. And yeah, just go from there. You know, I trust the guys downstairs, and you know, we had a pretty good thing going before I got hurt. So, you know, just stick to that.
So just to clarify, you're planning to basically spend the whole summer here working in the facilities?
I wouldn't say the whole summer. I'll probably go home for you know, a month, maybe a little bit more. But I would say, you know, by the 4th of July, I'll be here.
You were cleared to play, but how close to your 100% were you this season?
Can you repeat that, sir?
You were cleared to play. Obviously, after the neck surgery, you came back. You played, you know, most of this. You played the entire season. But how close to you were 100% of the player you think you can be?
Yeah, I mean, it's never easy when, you know, you try to get ready for a season, and, you know, probably 4 or 5 weeks, I think it was. But you know, I honestly felt really good with my body and things like that. You know, I think probably weight-wise, I would have, you know, liked to probably be a little heavier coming into the season. But you know, you just try to manage it that way. And but yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think there was at any point once I got cleared where I was, you know, skeptical about playing or anything like that.
What does the Master nomination mean to you?
Oh yeah, what an honor. Yeah, it's pretty special. Obviously, you know, thank you to those who voted for me for that. It means so much to me, and yeah, that's all I can say. What an honor. So.
Does it kind of validate, you know, what you've gone through, going a year away from hockey to now kind of like solidifying your spot as a regular? Does it kind of validate the process?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it feels good. You know, it feels really good to have that. And, you know, just to look back, and I think everyone has different journeys, but to look back and, you know, kind of see my path and my journey, and ultimately here we are, and you know, to be nominated for this is it means so much to me, and yeah, it's grateful for this.
No, it's not my decision anyway, so I can't really get into it because I don't know.
Okay. You said you don't know, as in you don't know why you got all these.
No, I'm sure there's reasons for it, but nothing that either one of us were obviously willing to discuss. But I'll just leave it at that.
You have had conversations with John Tortorella about, you know, his reasoning and his decision making?
I'm not going to go into that, actually.
Okay, I'm not asking for what he said. I'm just,
Yeah, we talked, but not
Okay.
a whole lot.
Okay.
Where do you feel like the relationship is? Obviously, you're going to be away from it for a while, but I mean, do you feel like it's at a point where it can't be salvaged? Or?
No, well, the way I put it, I love being a flyer. You know, my whole life I've wanted to be a flyer. Now that I am, so I don't take it for granted at all. It's something that means a lot to me, so I'm not going to, you know, we're not going to let any relationship stuff get in the way. He's the coach of the team, so you got to respect that, and I respect what he does. Do I agree with it? What happened in the last 5 games? Absolutely not. I think it's ridiculous that I didn't play the last 5. That's one thing, but he's also the coach of the team. It's not my job to decide that. All I can worry about is being a good teammate, which I think I did. Tried to stay out of the way. You know, I don't want to be a distraction to anybody. These guys had stuff to play for. You know, there's milestones guys are trying to get to. Guys are trying to play for, you know, contracts next year. I don't know how many guys blew up, but all that kind of stuff. So that was, I don't want to be a distraction. That's why I was glad there was no, I know you guys are writing stories and all this, but it was more about, for me, what them guys were doing. I was done. I wasn't playing, so it made no difference at all. And just try to be around, be a good teammate, watch the games. You know, there were some good games, some good stuff happened. You see, keep watching guys like Tip and all that, and just try to take that approach for what am I going to do for my own, you know, I wasn't playing, it is what it is.
So just to be clear, you do want to come back next year?
I plan on being back, I want to come back. I have no clue what's going to happen, that's not my decisions.
But
I'll be training and getting ready to play another season here yet.
I mean, you actually ended up leading the team in scoring over the last 58 games of the season. Do you feel that that's something you can obviously continue?
I mean, yeah, we'd have to see. I'd like to think so. I think probably the big thing for me was once I started to feel a little more confident and started to get some points. I think it was more going in the games almost expecting to get a point rather than just go out there and maybe play well. And, yeah, I think just kept building confidence in the second half. And, I guess that kind of led to production, but aside from production, I felt that I played a much stronger overall game.
You had a good off-season in terms of conditioning. After you came to camp, I guess about 190. How did that hold up over the season? Is there anything you want to tweak this off-season?
Yeah, actually, all the other years that I've played, I would end up losing weight throughout training camp, and then just going through the season, it's kind of hard to keep it on, but throughout the whole year, I kind of kept my weight, so I was pretty happy with that, and I give credit to our strength guys. They helped me out a lot, and I'm not really sure about any tweaks yet. I mean, probably address that by the time I go back home and start training again, but I think if I do a lot of the same things that I did last summer, I'll be in a good spot and hopefully keep improving physically.
I know maybe this season isn't ending the way anybody wants it to, but from where you were when we got here for training camp to where you are now, your confidence level because of what you accomplished, are you going into the offseason feeling pretty good about yourself and your game?
Yeah, I think so. I think, for me, this year was a big stepping stone on just kind of realizing what kind of player I needed to be to have success, and I think I was able to find that. And obviously, with that comes confidence, like you were saying. So obviously going into the off season, it helps to kind of have that confidence and be able to build off that.
At the beginning of the season, camp and start of the season, a little feeling out process. You find your groove, playing for Torch, those kind of things, and it obviously clicked as the season went along. So do you feel going forward that you can kind of hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think so. I think anytime a new coach comes in and you got new guys in the group, there's always that feeling out process, and just understanding what's expected of you and kind of what your role is. So I think going forward, I think with each year that you kind of have the same group and same coaching staff, that it allows you to kind of take steps going forward.
By the end of the year, you were one of the guys who, Torts couldn't say enough good things about your progression, about, you as a player. But, looking back going into the season, I guess, how concerned were you about playing for John Tortorella?
I don't think I was concerned. I work out with guys and I've talked to guys in the past that have had Torts and they had nothing but great things to say about him. I think he's one of those old school coaches that just goes off of, he wants guys to work hard each and every day. And I think, if you can do that, you're going to put yourself in a good spot. I've never been one to kind of come in and, just go through the motions. And, I think, each and every day is a chance to get better. And the harder you work, the more results you're going to get out of it.
All right, fire away.
Porter, obviously, I'm sure this wasn't the season that any of you guys wanted to have, but how much can you guys hang your hats on how resilient this team and how hard you guys were to play against?
Yeah, I don't think there was. We had a few games where we were off, but I thought for most nights this year we competed and we were in a lot of games. We had a lot of overtime games this year, and maybe not the best record in overtime, but a couple big overtime wins to finish the year off strong. And but no, I thought our group was very resilient and just competed night in and night out, even when we were out of the race.
How important was it for you personally to come back at the end of the year healthy, finish the year and get a win in the final game?
Yeah, definitely wanted to come back and just was making sure I was feeling 100% before I came back. And the last two years previous, I didn't finish the year off healthy, so I really wanted to come back and push through and battle back to finish off the year.
Carter, you obviously you had the strong first full year in 2019-2020. The next year didn't go at all the way you wanted it to. Last year, you were satisfied up until the end when you felt like you tailed off. What's your evaluation of this season, your self-evaluation of this season?
As a team, obviously we're not where we want to be right now on the outside looking in, but I can always be better. And that's this summer I got some things to work on and tidy up and get stronger and faster and be ready for next year and for a push to be hopefully still playing at this time. But I think we've also made a lot of strides this year as a team and with a lot of the young guys we have here coming up.
You mentioned about obviously wanting to still be playing this time of year next year. That said, the organization has been pretty open over the last couple of months about transitioning to a rebuild. You're basically in the prime of your career right now. What's your openness to kind of waiting out a rebuild to get to the point where you're playing playoff games if it's going to take a few years?
Yeah, I'm still only 24, so but I want to win as well, and I love playing for the city. I love playing for this organization. I'm very, very grateful for everything they've given me and the opportunity that I've had here. But I think that with the young guys we have coming up and the promise they started to show towards the second half of the season, I think it looks bright. Our young core guys, and I think Danny is going to be the guy to turn things around and get the ship going the right way.
Being a full-time NHL player and adapting to that, but you're also adapting to basically a new position. I know you played a bit in college, but you're primarily a wing, and I'm sure you were sort of learning on the fly at the NHL level. Where do you feel like you're at right now in terms of being a center, your comfort level, and kind of where your game's at there?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. I feel very comfortable there, and yeah, almost like I want to play there now, kind of thing. Who knows? I've been good on the wing, and it just felt like forever since I've been there. So I don't really want to bounce around, but you kind of see Lawton do that, and some other guys do that. Obviously, I'd do anything to be in this lineup and help this team. But I think if I can just dive into one area, obviously, hopefully Sean's back, so maybe that's another center, but that could help me move to the wing. But yeah, just kind of think I gained so much from playing center this year, and if it helps the team, I'll play there. But if I have to play wing, I'll maybe take a few games to get back into it. But you know, I've excelled there, and you know, feel comfortable on the walls there. But definitely good to know both, and kind of have that experience at both. So definitely, yeah, kind of a little good thing to add, but kind of would like to stay in one place for a little bit though.
Are you planning to do a lot of work this summer on faceoffs? I know it's something that you were focusing on a lot in practices this year.
Yeah, definitely kind of something I need to work on. It might be tough in the summer, but something, yeah, I need to focus on and figure out. See a lot of goals in the past couple of games. I came right off faceoffs or whatever, and just kind of the general importance of it. And hopefully, kind of like we were saying, Sean will be back next summer or next year, and he can maybe take some of those big draws, or I can learn from him too. So definitely a point of emphasis for me though, coming into next year.
Speaking of Sean, some guys have made the comparison throughout this season, but TK just said that it kind of stuns him how much you remind him of Couturier. I guess, what does that comparison mean to you?
Yeah, when that kind of got thrown around towards the end of the year, it was definitely super cool. Obviously, he's won Selke trophies and scored a lot of goals in this league, and obviously just a great leader for this team and this organization for a long time. I'd love to get a game with him here soon, and I think he'd be a huge addition for this team, and unfortunately didn't get to see it this year, but I'm really, it's kind of another part of what I'm looking forward to next season is seeing him and hopefully Cam and all those guys, and kind of what we can do with those guys, and some fresh faces, and not fresh faces as far as they've been around, but they'll be hungrier and ready to go after taking this whole season off. So definitely something to look forward to, and something that'll push kind of everyone as we get into next year.
20 games down there, I felt like I said, played really good. Did what I needed to do, and playing in all situations helps, and kind of just builds your confidence. And I felt like I came up here and tried to do the same things.
Cam, when we talked to you last season at the end of the year when you were up with the team, they played you on the right side. You were honest. You said you didn't really feel comfortable there. This year, you spent pretty much the whole year on the right side.
Looking at your season, kind of your first full crack at the NHL, how would you evaluate how you did?
Yeah, it was all right. Just trying to go out there and learn as much as I can, and come back next year and bring in what I learned and continue to learn and push forward, and just get some more confidence and the belief that I belong here, and just keep working at it.
What were some of the things you learned about just the grind of the season?
Yeah, this isn't college. You're not playing 35 games out there. You're playing a lot more, and just kind of where you cannot, I guess, overextend yourself, and just learn to take care of the body, and how much time and effort it takes to make sure you're fresh every day.
How much did you hear the words "go north to south" from Tortorella?
Every day. Every single day. But it makes sense. Like, I get what he's talking about, and I get where he's coming from, and if that's what's going to help the team, then that's how I play. That's fine with me.
Do you feel like there was a point where that started to actually sink in and be background noise and just instinct, and not something you had to think about as much?
Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, when you hear it all the time, every day, you get used to it, right? So it's just kind of changed the way I play, and in certain areas what I'm looking to do with the puck, and just be smart with it and make sure that I'm taking care of it, not giving it away.
Fire away.
Tanner, obviously Tortorella's been pretty open and honest about, what he's thought about you, maybe the lack of what he's seen from you. But for you personally, where do you think things kind of are for you, just in terms of being able to prove yourself in the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's kind of a crap year for me, but I think this is just an opportunity. I got another year here, so I have an entire summer to train and prepare again, and that's my motivation, right? To to prove him next year what I'm capable of and what I know I'm capable of. So I think I just use this as fire, and for the summer, and work on my game and work on every aspect I can, and come back ready to go.